Hello, hello, hello. Today is October 28th, 2024. It's been a couple of weeks since we last talked with Norm Winsky. That's a couple of weeks too long. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I was last on your show just ahead of the October 2nd new moon solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is just a special kind of new moon where everything lines up even tighter than a regular new moon. By the way, if you have any questions about any of my technical terms here, give me a call. I'll explain them, give you a free class. All right, so then I planned to be on right around asked Jeff to be on right around the October 11th weekend there. However, Hurricane Milton had other ideas, and so I had to cancel. Internet was out. So anyway, but you're gonna have to take my word for it that I sent these points to Jeff, and so we're gonna review those. And also, I have some other points that week, the week following that during the that we had there. So here's the points. Let me go over them. October 2nd, solar eclipse. The weekend of the 11th, we had a banger 3-point cluster with Pluto in Capricorn turning direct. That's the opposite of retrograde. Jupiter to the U.S. chart. That's stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. Sorry, I didn't mention the Pluto markets. Cocoa, hogs, and T-bonds. And then the third point was a Mercury cycle, which Mercury is the grains. And by the way, stocks potentially respond to all these events, so I don't always mention the stocks. It's assumed. All right, so moving ahead now, we had the weekend of the 11th. Then we had the night of the 16th into early morning 17th, and that was a full moon at perigee. Perigee is when the moon closest to the Earth, and those only coincide about every 14 months. So that's an important cycle. And then we had the moon's north node to Neptune. We have the moon's north node is a mathematical point in space, which is a cycle of 18.6 years. It lined up with Neptune, and that was for oil and silver. And then we had a Mercury cycle, Mercury aphelion, the night of the 22nd. That's Mercury 88 days around the sun. Appa means afar. Helios is Greek for sun. That's when Mercury's at its farthest point from the sun. So we want to look at Mercury and anything to do with the sun. Corn, soybeans, wheat are your grains. And we'll be looking at gold for the sun. The sun is golden. Gold is golden. There you go. Jupiter lined up with the U.S. chart for stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar the night of the 23rd. So we'll be looking at the opening the 24th. Here's the charts. Here's corn right on the solar eclipse there. Bing, bang, bang. There you go. The high of the month there for corn. And then down, down, down. We had the Mercury cycle there, but that was a little early. So that's a miss. That's a red arrow. Green is good. That means you had a chance to make some money. Over here we had another Mercury cycle, and that was a little early in terms of drawdown. The next day was a high, but if you sold there, when I did these charts over the weekend, I couldn't tell whether you could have made any money or not. If we went down today, and I haven't had a chance to check, then we could maybe turn that red into a green. But for now, we'll say it was a miss. All right, so if we're going sideways, I don't do sideways. That's a pass. That's a yellow box there, and you can see beans are going sideways into the solar eclipse. And here's our Mercury point. That was too early on the beans. However, beautiful bottom there on the soybeans, right on the full moon perigee, and then they went up, 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 and then you had a day early like the corn, but a little better because the beans had a harder bigger drop than the corn, so you could tell that you did have a chance to make some money there. So there's soybeans. Here's wheat. Got double points for wheat because the solar eclipse was in the sign of Libra, and Libra is associated with wheat, and therefore, any solar eclipse new moon would be wheat, but now it's in Libra, so we give it double emphasis. So that's 2 points there for wheat. We're going kind of choppy sideways here, so that's a pass. Choppy kind of sideways there, that's a pass. But we did make a low there on the 27th, so if you bought against that low on our Mercury cycle there, then you had a chance to make some money. Here's sugar. Sugar is Libra, and we had a solar eclipse in Libra, and so there's a pullback low there, and then it popped up for I think about $800 on sugar. There were about 80 cents on sugar. Here's cocoa. It doesn't look like much, but this cocoa went crazy last year. It went from 2,000 to 12,000, and now it's traded around 7,000. And every 10 cents, that's like seven. Seven is $7, right? If it goes to 7.10, that's $1,000. And so if you sold there against that high, it dropped about 80 cents, and that's eight. Wait, let me make sure I told you. Oh, make that more 4,000. Okay, make that 40 cents, and that's $4,000. So it doesn't look like very much, but that's pretty big money there. All right, now coffee. Pluto turned direct in Capricorn over the 11th weekend, and we pulled down here, and there's a very nice low there on the opening, on Monday's opening, the 14th. And here's another beast of a market. The coffee rallied, let's see, from 250 up to about 265. So that's it's over $5,000 there in about a day, from here to here, about $5,000. Okay, every penny there in coffee is $375 if you want to check my math. Here's hogs going up, 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 and if you sold against that high there on our Pluto is hogs. Right there, you picked up about, let's see, 2.5 handles for $1,000, And here's crude oil. That's a miss there. Hopefully you're using stop losses, and so you limit your losses. And then over here, we were going sideways for our full moon perigee, but it did drop here into our Neptune point, and then it rallied, and then you did pretty well. I think you picked up, let's see, 69, about at least two handles, at least $2,000, maybe a little bit more. Here's silver. Went sideways there for the solar eclipse, sideways there for the full moon at perigee, and that's a miss there for silver. I think it was a day ahead of that double top there, but the drawdown was really big, too big to unacceptable drawdown. All right, here's gold going sideways, so we pass on the solar eclipse. We had the full moon there, and very unusual for the metals to ignore the moon, but they did last this past month, the past few weeks, but we had a really nice one here. By the way, gold's making new all-time highs as it's going up here. It rallied into a new all-time high, and over the night of the 22nd into the morning of the 23rd, it made a new all-time high there. Mercury aphelion, that's related Mercury to the sun, and the gold is the sun, and it dropped $50 from that high to that low. So I had some clients who did that, and they made some nice money, and they were happy. There we go. Here's the S&P. Everybody loves the S&P. Here we go. Coming down here now, S&P. On the solar eclipse, you can see, I think that's the low of the month right there on the 2nd. And if you bought against that low, you did pretty well. And then up, up, up. And then we had the 11th weekend. We had a triple cluster there, triple cycle cluster there. And you can see right next day, it went a little bit higher and then big down. I think that was about 58.60 level to about 58, at least 50 handles there. And then we went back up into the full moon at perigee, which was the high of the month and a new all-time high. And if you sold there, I think that was about 80 handles before, and then it popped back up. Then we went sideways. Then we came down here for that miss. So we did like 5 out of 6 winners on that one, Here's the bonds. Didn't care about the eclipse, so that's a miss. But we got to the triple whammy weekend there, and we had 2 points for bonds there, and that was a nice low for the bonds. Then we went up for the full moon perigee, and that was a nice top there, and then back down. We had a U.S. point here. I recommended this trade, the gold trade that I just mentioned on the Mercury apogee, and I usually don't recommend specific trades in my nightly updates, because these look so good, because bonds have been going down, down, down for like weeks now, And after that point, we had the U.S. indicating bonds. I said you should buy them at 118. They went to 117.29, 3 ticks against you, and then popped up for about a whole handle for $1,000. So that was pretty good there. Here's the U.S. dollar. That's a miss there on the solar eclipse. Sideways there. There's the full moon. Had a little bit of a short-term high here. Could have made a little bit of money and a little bit better money over here with the U.S. point on the night of the 23rd, morning of the 24th. And so the bottom line is the green arrows, we had 24 winners, red arrows, 9 misses out of 33 for 72.73 winners percent. So here's what's coming up here on the the morning of the 30th. We have Venus aphelion. Notice Mercury aphelion was a nice turning points for several markets. So you might want to pay attention to Venus aphelion. And the Venus markets are cattle, copper, cotton, sugar, wheat, and then of course we'll have the sun is involved with the aphelion part, and that's gold. So we'll be watching those markets around early on the 30th, and then the night of the 31st is Halloween night. We have the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. Anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we want to look at financials, grains, precious metals, soybeans, oil, and because in Scorpio we're adding cocoa, hogs, and T-bonds. And keep in mind, the way to find the best trades are when a market that's indicated from these astrological indications is at an extreme. You want a market to be going up, 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 or down, 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 like I showed you. The gold trade there was going up, up, up in the Mercury aphelion. The bonds went down, down, down into our U.S. point, and those were both good trades. If you'd like to get a hold of me, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to help you. You can reach me. I got 50 years of experience. I forgot to mention former Chicago floor trader. I was on the CBOE as a market maker, risking my own money. I survived there 12 years. Also on the Board of Trade. And you can reach me at, get down here to my contact info. There we go. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida. You can call me at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. Or you can email me at nwinski, that's NWINSKI, at yahoo.com. Or you can call me at the same address, nwinski at yahoo.com. Looking forward to helping some of your folks there, Jeff. Everybody have a great week ahead.
Norm, great as always. We'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Jeff.